Bring that ass back like a
Paradop. 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 Top.
Good day, everyone. I'm Joanna Rose P. Tolentino from CBET 19404A, and I'm going to report about pressures for local responsiveness. Let's define pressure for local responsiveness. The second pressure they face is that from local responsiveness. Such pressures arise from varying differences in traditional practices, infrastructure, and customers' preferences and tastes. To respond to this, firms need to differentiate their products in each country to take into account all these factors. Pressures for local responsiveness arises from differences in consumer taste and preferences. Strong pressure for local responsiveness emerge when consumer tastes and preferences differ significantly between countries. Differences in traditional practices and infrastructure. Pressures for local responsiveness emerge when there are differences in infrastructure and or traditional practices between different countries. Differences in distribution channels. A firm's marketing strategies needs to be responsive to differences in distribution in channels between countries. Host government demands. Economic and political demands imposed by host country governments may necessitate a degree of local responsiveness. Choosing a strategy. There are four basic strategies to compete in international environment. Global standardization, localization, transnational, international. The appropriateness of each strategy depends on the pressures for cost reduction and local responsiveness in the industry. The global standardization strategy focuses on increasing profitability and profit growth by reaping the cost reductions that come from economies of scale, learning effects, and location economies. Localization strategy focuses in on increasing profitability by customizing the firm's goods or services so that they provide a good match to taste and preferences in different national market. The localization strategy makes sense when there are substantial differences across nations with regard to consumer taste and preferences where cost pressure are not too intense. The transnational strategy tries to simultaneously achieve low costs through location economies, economies of scale, and learning effects. Differentiate the product offering across geographic markets to account for local differences. Foster a multi-directional flow of skills between different subsidiaries in the firm's global network of operations. The transnational strategy makes sense when cost pressures are intense, pressures for local responsiveness are intense. The evolution of strategy. An international strategy may not be viable in the long term. To survive, firms may need to shift to a global standardization strategy or a transnational strategy in advance of competitors. Similarly, localization may give a firm a competitive edge. Similarly, localization may give a firm a competitive edge. But if the firm is simultaneously facing aggressive competitors, the company will also have to reduce its cost structures, and the only way to do that may be to shift toward a transnational strategy.
Bring that ass back like a para para dog.